Oh, arcade one up. If it wasn't bad enough already, if the discussion wasn't crazy enough already, you got to sprinkle a little bit of the R word there. Let's talk about it.
Rod, who do we have next?
Bob, it's Gen X Gamer. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
No way, that's me. Hello there, Gen X Gamer. Hi.
Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Guys, when the drama is not good enough, we need to step it up a notch, right? You throw in racism claims on there. Ooh, now it's a party. Now it's a party. Let me tell you guys something that I've learned. Right? And I grew up in a big city. I grew up in Los Angeles, and I worked my way through college by being an Uber Lyft driver. And I've heard some of the most racist, absolute, terrible things that you could ever hear. And most of the things that I heard were not from white people. Of course, white people told me some racist stuff, right? But it wasn't ever as bad as the stuff that I would hear from minorities, right? So this whole notion that you can't be racist against white people, or that, that nobody's racist, that, everybody's pure as snow and then there's just a few. No. Dissolve yourselves of that notion, right? Because I've heard some terrible things being said by a lot of people, right? Of all different races, genders, and what have you, right? And I'll tell you a few stories here about just delicious 1980s, 1990s racism. I used to have a boss, really nice man, but at first, when I first started working there, you go, his name was Mark, and an older white gentleman, really cheap. He would cut his own hair. You go, hey, refugee, come here. If you want to picture this guy, he was just like a red-headed version maybe of Dwight from The Office, that type of guy, right? That type of fellow. And in the same company, there was this Hispanic. He was like fourth generation Hispanic, right? But he was clearly Hispanic. His name was Bob. And he used to go, he told me one time, come here. I would go over there, and I was just a kid. Bob at this point was about 36, 37. He was already balding. And he goes, come here. And then he gets his finger and his thumb and he puts it across my forehead and then rubs it on a shoe. He's all, no, I just need a little grease so I can polish his shoe. Now this guy is just as beaner as I am, right? There's no difference. As a matter of fact, I'm lighter skinned than he is, but somehow he thinks that he's not as much of a wetback as I am, right? Don't get offended, people. That's what we call ourselves, right? So, I've seen it all. I remember a store owner that I thought was the nicest lady, right? She was the nicest, cutest Asian lady, and she was all good with me as long as I was a customer. The moment that I told her daughter was cute, oh man, everything changed right away. She let me know why her daughter was not going to be marrying somebody of my kind. She had no problems laying down the law, right? And while I was working as a driver, as Uber Lyft, I would hear a lot of Hispanic, Latinas specifically going to USC say the most racist things about white people that were not even true. Like I've had white people around me all the time growing up, right? And yeah, there was some racism, but mostly joking racism. And I never experienced oppression. Like I had white friends that, we used to call each other names, because it was for them. And I could tell you for my friends, it was more like an outlet. Like they wanted to say it so bad. And it was a relief for them to say it around me. And for me too, I was like, oh, you fucking cracker. We used to joke around with each other, which is not politically correct anymore, right? Everybody's clutching pearls and no. Guys, I've heard Jamaicans say some of the worst things about, African Americans ever. The same thing with Africans. I don't know if you know this, but there's a big rift between black people that are born outside the country, and African Americans, a lot of them say openly these are not real Africans, or they're not really black. And it's the same thing that happens in a Hispanic community. When you're second, third generation Hispanics, native born Hispanics will go, well, you're not really Mexican, you're not really Salvadorian, you're not really this because you were born here. And if you speak English and if you don't speak Spanish with their accent, you're out, right? They'll be nice to you as a tourist, but they're not going to take you as one of their own. And don't even get me started on the racism between Hispanics here in Los Angeles and other big cities. Hispanics discriminate against other Hispanics. Right now, the brunt of it, the Venezuelans are getting it big time, right? But the Mexicans have never liked Central Americans. Central Americans never liked Mexicans. They're always fighting, even though sometimes, we get together and have babies, right? But a lot of the communities, there's a lot of fights. Some of the most racist things that I've ever heard said to me have been from other Hispanics. The most insulting, denigrating things that I've heard as far as racism have been from my own race. And that's probably the same for a lot of you, right? So this whole notion that, minorities can't be quote unquote racist is an absolute dream, number one. Number two, for people in California to say it where white people are the minority is absolutely nuts. But it does happen. Everybody's racist to some extent. There's things that you avoid, that you avoid growing up in the city, not because of race, just because of your safety. Don't go to this neighborhood because, this other race of Hispanics gang is there, so you don't go there. So you start treating them as the other race, and at that point it's just gangs, nothing to do about racism, but then it devolves to that. Or there's certain neighborhoods that they don't want you in because you're, not of that community. And it doesn't matter what community is, because they figure, hey, if you're Hispanic and you're, walking around in the middle of a boulevard or a black neighborhood, it's probably because you're looking for trouble, right? Especially if you're flashing colors, or, maybe you're unfortunate to be there because you don't know what's going on. Or if you're of another race in another gang's neighborhood, whether it's Asian, there's Vietnamese gangs, there's Chinese gangs, there's all kinds of stuff in the inner city that most people out in America can't even relate to. Right? All these people that are saying, oh, you can't be racist against white people. They're sheltered, man. I don't know where the hell they've lived, right? Because there's plenty of white racism in the big cities. Let me tell you, white people will tell you that. White people that gotten beaten up can tell you that. Be at the wrong place in the wrong time in the wrong neighborhood. It doesn't matter what race you are. If you're Hispanic and you're in the wrong neighborhood, if you're black in the wrong neighborhood, if you're white in the wrong neighborhood, oh, you're gonna feel it. And let me tell you, getting punched in the mouth has no race. It feels exactly the same from everyone. When you're spitting out teeth, everybody's the same, guys. But getting back to this whole notion, the pearl clutching and all this. I always find it hypocritical because we all know somebody in our family who is racist, whether it's an uncle, a grandfather, or whatever, and they're just racist to a greater extent. But somebody out there who's claiming they're absolutely colorblind, let me tell you, they are full of shit. That's the bottom line. All right, humans, I will catch you on the next one. We'll keep on seeing how this, arcade one-up drama devolves, because what else are we going to talk about now? They already went into racist. What are we going to talk about? Abortion next? They're not getting our attention enough. They got to sprinkle something. Oh, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do. All right, humans, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.